Do you need a buyer's agent when buying new construction? Hello, I'm John Thomas with Primary Residential Mortgage. Joining me today is Jeff Garvey from Keller Williams Realty. He's going to help us answer that question. So Jeff, why in the world wouldn't a buyer just go to a new construction site and work with the agent that's actually there behind the desk?
That's a very good question, John. First of all, they're not always, believe it or not, they're not always real estate agents. Sometimes they're really employees of the builder. But to understand it, the best thing to do
So they're not even licensed sometimes?
Sometimes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not always.
Gotcha.
All right? So the best way to explain it is you have to understand something called agency. Agency is basically a relationship between two or more people where the agent has responsibility to help the, in our case, a buyer with the purchase of a home.
Okay.
So if you walk into a model home, the person sitting behind the desk is an agent, but it's an agent for the seller.
So their job is to get the seller the best deal.
Their job is to get the seller the best deal.
So if you walk in without your own buyer's agent, there's no one representing in the transaction. The person you're dealing with has the builder's best interest at heart.
Exactly.
That's what they get paid to do.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's say if we want to go in represented and we want to have our own buyer's agent, well, I'm sure you don't work for free. Mm-hmm. So how much does it cost me to hire you as my buyer's agent?
Okay. The best thing about a buyer's agent is that it doesn't cost the buyer anything. Essentially, it's built into the price, so the seller is the one paying for the buyer's agent. So
out of the price of the home, the builder builds in a commission for agents to sell the home.
Correct.
Because technically, as the buyer's agent, you'd be selling the home, so the commission's built in for you to bring a buyer to them.
Correct. And a good point to that is also that amount that's built in there to pay a buyer's agent doesn't go away if you don't have a buyer's agent.
The builder would just keep it.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, sometimes we hear some funny things like in real estate, everything's negotiable, except when you hear builders, oh, that's the price. It's a fixed price. You have to buy it at that price. Is that true?
No, it's not true. And it's really funny you say that because I was doing some research this morning and I came across a blog where it stated that a builder's price is a builder's price, is a set price, and there's no negotiation involved. Everything's negotiable in real estate, whether you're buying it from a new construction or you're buying it from a Johnny homeowner.
So if you walk in without an agent, yes, it's not negotiable.
Could
but
be.
If you walk in with your own buyer's agent, they're going to negotiate and say, hey, look, we're going to start here, we'll come here, back and forth.
That's the job of your buyer's agent. One of the most important things they do for you is to negotiate on your better behalf.
Now let's say if I'm out looking at homes, if I want to have a buyer's agent, how do I do that when I'm searching for homes, new construction? What's the best way to do that?
Okay, what you want to do first is sit down with a buyer's agent. Pick one that you're comfortable with, one that's reputable and has been in the industry for years. And what you'll do is you'll sign what's called a buyer's agency, which gives that buyer's agent the ability to negotiate on your behalf as opposed to the builder.
Okay, so let's say I find this neighborhood and it's new construction and I retain you as my buyer's agent. Can I just go in there when I want and go talk to a sales agent?
Usually what will happen is the better agents will take you out into each one of those, whether it's owned by a homeowner or new construction. But if for some reason, say you're coming from church and you're going by a neighborhood, just make sure you have business cards from your buyer's agent and let them know, hey, I have a buyer's agent, I'm represented, here's their card, they're not here with me now, but they are representing me in a purchase of this home.
So if I go to a builder and I forget to tell them I have a buyer's agent, and I fill out their paperwork, sign in, and get all their stuff, is that a problem?
Yes, it could be. A lot of the builders, the representation needs to be, they need to know it up front, otherwise you basically waive your representation. So you always want to let them know.
Wow, so if you go without your agent, even though you have one, if you don't let the builder know and you sign in, you're basically waiving your right to representation. So if you wanted to bring an agent back with you, you would then have to pay your agent's own commission.
If you need representation, yes, you would. That is correct. Yes.
Do you need representation?
Absolutely, you do.
Gotcha. Okay. And then could it cost, or how much would it cost a buyer, or could it cost a buyer if they go to a new construction site without the agent, fill out, waive their right, and then just negotiate on their own directly with the builder? What would be the problem with that if I think, hey, you know what, I'm a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
Couldn't I just do this myself? What's the pitfalls?
What could happen is this. There's, well, number one, like we said in the beginning, as far as the price, we know it's negotiable. The better buyer's agents know exactly how to negotiate it. All right? But the second thing is the contract itself. And in no way will I ever say that a builder is out to get anyone, but their contracts are different than the ones we use every single day. All right, I know it's exactly what's in our contracts. Theirs, they can put in their own little things here and there. So what will happen is, for instance, we just went through a transaction where, let's say you put an offer in on a house, and let's just say it's $200,000.
Okay.
$200,000, they agree, buyers agree, everybody's happy. When the appraisal came about, let's say it's worth $190,000. Okay, $10,000 less than what you offered. So as a buyer, you'd be happy, right? Hey, I'm getting my house for $10,000 less than I offered. Wrong, because some of the builders, most of the builders, have a clause in their contract that says you either pay what we agreed upon, or the appraisal, you pay what we agreed upon, regardless of what the appraisal is. So you're now paying $200,000 for a house that's worth $190,000.
And we as a lender will only lend based off $190,000, so you've got to come up with an extra $10,000 yourself
Out of pocket.
to get it back down to the $190,000.
Contractually correct.
And again, because the builder's going to write their own contract to protect who?
The builder.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you can't read legal speak, you're not going to have a clue what other stuff. Because I've seen them put extra fees in there that you have to pay. It's in the contract. Okay. So pretty much the best thing to do is get in there with that buyer's agent.
Always.
Have them review the contract. Make sure before you sign anything you understand the terms, you negotiate it fairly. Okay. Great. Thanks, Jeff, for joining us. That is the reason why you should get your own buyer's agent when you're buying a new construction property. Now, if you need a buyer's agent, go ahead and give Jeff a call. His number's right at the bottom there, 302-463-8484. If you need to get pre-approved for a mortgage, go ahead and give me a call right on the bottom there, 302-703-0727. We look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.